Hi everyone! Recently I've made a video about the profession of classical musician for the students of Regis Jesuit High School in Denver as a short summary of our workshop with them. After this video I've received some feedback. Thank you everyone who sent me the messages. A couple of questions, and one of them, which came from my non-musical friend, to my mind deserves a public answer. It looks quite simple. Why do people need classical music? And why do they need music in general? Why do we make music or just listen to it? Why do we play musical instruments, sing, discuss music, and so on? Well, I have a couple of thoughts on this subject and will be glad to share them with you in this video. Let's go! First of all, let me remind you something really obvious. All people want the clothes they wear to be beautiful, the room, house they live in to be beautiful, cars, dishes, furniture, smartphones, and other things that surround them to be beautiful. We love beautiful buildings, cities, natural landscapes, beautiful paintings, photos, and so on. The question is why? Why do people prefer beautiful looking things rather than non-beautiful or ordinary or ugly? Obviously, because visual beauty is in some way attractive to people. It is a deep human need. People strive to surround themselves with beautiful things, to exist in a beautiful environment, because it is an inherent attribute of their nature. So the definite fact is, the visual beauty is attractive, but our eyes are not the only source of information about the world we live in. According to science, we have at least 5 senses to perceive the world: sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. And each of these senses has its own preferences on what is attractive and what is not. Some dishes are tastier than others, some surfaces are more pleasant to touch than others, some smells are pleasant, some smells are not. For example, we can say, this flower has a beautiful fragrance, or what a beautiful perfume. And what we see here is that the word beautiful appears again, though we don't speak about visual beauty. I think you can see what I'm getting at. Sense of hearing obviously also has its specific beauty. Some sounds or sound combinations are pleasant for us, others unpleasant. Some leave us indifferent, others repel. Beautiful sounds attract our attention like any other kind of beauty, and people strive to create a sonically beautiful atmosphere around them. Here we get the first answers we're looking for. First thing, music is a kind of sonic beauty. Second thing, sonic beauty is attractive to people. That's why people want to deal with music, listen to it, and make it. Of course, these answers are very general and incomplete. Nevertheless, they are not formal or indefinite because they reflect essential things. And to see this better, let's look at the times when the music, as it's commonly understood nowadays, didn't exist. Primitive man had not ever heard the sounds of music. He was surrounded by the noise of nature, voices of animals or people around him. In the Western world, music first appeared in ancient Greece, around 3,000 years ago. As we know from the Greek mythology, there were 2 kinds of musical instruments. Wind instruments like flute or aulos, so-called instrument of Dionysus, and string instruments like kithara or lyra, which is also known as an instrument of Apollo. But the real, not mythological story with music begins with the famous Greek scientist, whose name is known to everyone, Pythagoras. He was not a musician, he just studied how the strings of different lengths sound and how to describe it mathematically. And it turned out that the source of sonic beauty is a certain correlation between the strings of different lengths. For example, if one string is 2 times longer than the other, their simultaneous or joint sound will be pleasant to the ear. The same happens with the strings with a ratio 3:2, 4:3, 6:5, and so on. And if the string ratios a bit deviate from these figures, their joint sound will be unpleasant. This way, Pythagoras came across the phenomenon of sonic beauty, an artificial sound effect which derives from the combination of tones. When this combination sounds pleasant, we call it consonance, and when unpleasant, dissonance. But what is especially important, Pythagoras has discovered the physical and mathematical backgrounds behind the sound harmony. This made it possible for people to create beautiful combination of tones at their will. And this was actually the beginning of music composition and the beginning of Western music as such. Just as Prometheus gave people the secret of fire, Pythagoras gave people the secret of sound beauty. And people started to use it everywhere for many purposes. This process lasts already for 2,500 years and is not going to stop. Nobody forced people to do that. They did it at their own will just because they fell under the power of sonic beauty. The knowledge under the euphony began to spread among people everywhere where they lived. First in Greece, then in the Roman Empire, in Europe, and then throughout the world. This process was kind of mining of the world of sounds, and people investigated and discovered more and more complex, beautiful, and expressive combinations of tones. In early Christian times, the composed sound beauty was taken to the church as an accompaniment to divine services, where it reinforced the beauty of images and words. First of all, people turned to the collective singing, like Gregorian chant, for example. Then organs appeared, these huge instruments for the simultaneous sounding of a large number of harmonious sounds. And with time, organs have grown to enormous sizes, with thousands and tens of thousands of pipes, like, for example, the Boardwalk Hall auditorium organ in Atlantic City, New Jersey, which is considered to be the biggest in the world. It has around 33,000 pipes, but actually nobody knows the exact number of them. I think this giant construction is the best illustration of the power this sonic beauty has over people. Until the last 3 or 4 centuries, the church was the main place where the development of music has progressed. Harmony and beauty of sounds were used to express the harmony and beauty of the universe and God, divine grace, goodness, light. And most of people consider Johann Sebastian Bach to be the pinnacle of this musical development. Further development took the music out of the church, and new musical genres such as Baroque, classical, and romantic music have emerged. The most substantial, meaningful, and comprehensive forms of sonic beauty. The music as we have it today is a tremendous archive of sonic beauty. It takes years and decades to dive into it and to enjoy its treasures. So getting closer to the beauty of music is a process, like the comprehension of beauty in other spheres of life. Some do it as passive listeners, some as active listeners who seek music and discuss it. Some prefer to play music themselves in order to create this beauty by their hands and voice. They are so-called amateur musicians. And of course, there is a group of people who study and perform music professionally. They become the guides in this vast archive of sonic treasures created during the centuries. So this is my vision on why do people need music and deal with it. Beauty in any of its forms and manifestations is what a human being naturally wants to be surrounded by. Indeed, this general vision should be specified and complemented by many other details, because music also carries meaning and information, content in modern terms, and this meaning is what affects many aspects of our life, not only aesthetical. The benefits of music are tremendous. They affect our intellect, our psychological state and health, character of a person, relationships with other people, cultural atmosphere in society in general. So an extensive number of topics which should be discussed absolutely separately. I hope you were able to learn something new and interesting from this video. Thank you very much for watching, and bye!